Okay, hello, greetings and welcome. All right, let's have a look at some of the aspects of energy loss. Where do you lose energy? Now, there's a lot of practices. People who are attracted to hermetic work and spiritual work are normally very sensitive people. They're sensitive to people's thinking, sensitive to feeling, sensitive to their environment. They listen to music, they're going to cry. If there's something in the environment, they feel, what's different here? Something's changed. They're hypersensitive. They feel more than normal people. What happens is energy leaks through the feeling, through the sensitivity. It's a two-way. Movement. So your ability to tune into things is also the place where you lose energy. It goes both directions. So what we need to do is develop a type of method of guarding the gates of the five senses and the mind itself. Now, this is not the only places where energy comes and goes, but this is the primary place where you gain and lose energy. So if you let's say look at the teachings on guarding the six gates, you have eye consciousness, you do mindfulness through your eyes. You know, how much does beautiful things pull your mind out? And sometimes beautiful things, when it pulls your mind out, empowers you. Stand at the top of a mountain and look at the view. It's like, wow, this is incredible. Now, for a man, if a beautiful woman's walking down the street and it catches their eye, they're automatically losing energy and leaking energy to that object of beauty. So, where in nature, the eye consciousness gives you power. It's a gateway for you to activate the spirit, bring the spirit to the fore and go, wow, I can indulge in this environment and be awake. All the sense gates, you have inward flow and outward flow through each of the gates. So define where are you losing energy through the gates. And then the mind itself, what does your mind dwell on? What stories do you make in your mind, and so forth. The next aspect to look at is any old injuries. Do you have any tears in your mental, astral, physical auras in your bodies? Scar tissue any in your body leaks energy. It's a big hole. Emotional trauma. There's a big hole there. A lot of people who have their heart broken have a type of emotional scar tissue on their heart where they don't want to trust anyone. And this feeling of not trusting people consumes and burns a lot of excess energy and generates aversion to having experiences. Your mental body might just be too open and your mind floats a lot, and when your mind floats you lose energy. So look at your physical body condition, your astral body condition, your mental body condition, and define where energy is coming and going. Now, what gives you energy? Where do you need to spend time each day to enliven? Do you need to be in nature? Do you need to get on the rebounder and do some exercise to drain the lymphatic system, get the toxic chemicals out of your body? Because our bodies are full of toxicity. You know, you look at the compounds that are in brake pads, and you know, those compounds get left all over the road. And then you go outside and walk on the street with your shoes, you take it into your house, that stuff's getting absorbed into your body. So there's toxic compounds everywhere. You need to have a method of getting them out. Drink lots of water. Rebounder flushes the lymphatic system, cleans and drains all the stuff out of the body. And then fasting. The bad energy that you can't manage gets stored in the fat cells. So you've got to empty the fat cells as often as you can. Otherwise, that toxicity that's stored in the fat cells is going to leak into your system. And it tends to leak when you're vulnerable, not when you're strong. So every now and then, I like to fast twice a year for 2 weeks, was just a water fast. I started with juice, green juice fasts, and now I went to water. And that just sucks all the stuff out of my body and cleans the body. There's a website called healingbyang.com, and he's got an article there on a liver cleanse. And if you follow that liver cleanse protocol first, you'll find that it'll be easy to get into a fast and clean your body. Very often these chemicals rest in the body, and it leaks your vitality, leaks your energy. The next area, if you want to keep your power, not lose power, is fresh sperm. Now, fresh sperm is maintaining the freshness of the feeling of your sexual energy. So if you ejaculate too soon before your sperm count is full, what's going to happen? You'll have no fresh vitality stored in your body. If you hold your sperm for too long and it dies inside your body, you have no fresh sperm, your vitality goes down. There's a zone, and everyone is different. There's a zone in which your sperm count becomes full, your sperm is fresh, it's ready, it's full of potential in life, and you have to be sensitive to when that energy starts to decline, then you empty the sperm out and let your body make more. This is a way to optimize health. Don't ejaculate too often and don't hold for long periods of time. So fresh sperm is for men. For women, I don't know what the answer is to that. You'll have to ask a serious practicer who's female on how they manage that, their vitality in that way. Okay, so there's a few aspects there to look at, to guard your gates, to vital breathe, nostril breathe through those gates to build and make them strong. Train mindfulness and concentration through the gates vitally and astrally, and then guard your lifestyle. You know, are you a victim of obesity by being attached to food and not having limits on your food? And if you don't have limits on your food, you lose energy. Too much food makes you lose energy. And at first you go, oh, getting too much energy makes you lose energy? Yes, it does. So limit your food. You know, one handful, what you can put on your hand, perfect. And there's one handful 3 times a day. If you're eating once a day, you can have 3 handfuls at once, and that's enough. The tighter you put your eating window into, the better. So if you can get your food consumption into 1 hour, that's optimal. A 4-hour window, okay. More than that, unnecessary. Don't eat too much. Your body doesn't function at peak efficiency when you're eating too many meals. Now equalize your food with your mind, with your feeling, with your body before you eat it. So hold it for a moment, contemplate it, vital breathe into it, put a prayer over it, and then your mind, your feeling, and your body, your 3 dantians will align to the food before you consume it. And that consumption of the food will, your body will basically absorb mentally the nutrition it needs, astrally the nutrition it needs, and physically the nutrition it needs more efficiently if you're equalized with the food before you consume it. When you put it in your mouth, the saliva mixing, it starts the balancing act. It has to be in your mouth for a while. And if you have bad teeth, and it's painful to chew, like you don't have good teeth or you have false teeth, suck on the food for a little while, mix the saliva in, just taste it, let it be in your mouth if you can't chew. Chewing, the compression of the bones in your teeth create a type of electrical circuit and it enlivens your brain. So your mental body gets stimulated and you start processing, your mind and energy starts processing mentally into the astral, into the physical, to equalize with the food. Let food stay in your mouth for a long time on each bite. You can train the gates. How does it taste? How does it smell? How does it feel? What's the texture of the food? Before you put it in your mouth, how does it look? So how does it sound when you bite it? Engage all the sense gates, enliven energy through vital breathing and field awareness as you consume the food. that equalization will make that food much healthier for you. You'll be able to absorb more of it. Other areas where people lose energy, a lot of us are, how would you put it? We try too hard to help other people. We don't make clear boundaries. When people who go into a path of service to take care of others tend to do it, they overextend themselves. They can't say no. They're unable to create boundaries. And there will often be people who will try and use your energy, take advantage of you, take advantage of a good heart. And you've got to be a little bit selfish in the sense of, I've got to protect my vitality, protect my feeling, protect my time, because that's when you can practice. You can't give too much of yourself to others. And this is sort of like a contradiction to the path of service. But remember, a person who sits in a cave, releases time, releases space, enters into Akasha, observes the nature of their own mind, dissolves the self, enters into non-dual light, and moves and ascends up to Nibbana, is in the path of service. That person, that individual, has made the path to Nibbana more open for everybody else to attain. When one person has moved through that circuit, it's easier for the next and the next, and each person who attains, it becomes more open. So all true training systems have those components in place. Everything they do must aid towards the release of time, attachment to time, attachment to space. There must be a method of entering through this particle level into Akasha, into the emptiness, so they can see their own mind. They must have a method of dissolving the self. And from there, and we're not talking about the self of the astral ego that has substance, we're talking about the part of self in the consciousness itself, in the spirit, that forces reincarnation between lives. And this is the part that needs to dissolve. That's what generates release. This is the key to practice. And then once a person's begun that process and they've recognized the light of the mind and the universe is light and it's a unified field, there's a self-guiding mechanism that leads you to Nibbana. It leads you to the pinnacle. And ironically, Buddhism doesn't dominate this. They're a minority in beings who attain Nibbana. So you don't, even though Buddhism specializes in the last door, the teachings are for dissolving the self, and they're functioning for that, they actually don't dominate the landscape. So anybody who cultivates stillness is going to release time, is going to release space, is going to enter into stillness, they're going to see their mind as light, they're going to work on how to dissolve the self and unify with that light, and the path to Nibbana is open. It's a part of the universal mechanism. And the beings, the bodhisattvas, and all these beings who have attained Nibbana and have not dissolved into it, stay in a path of service to support people on the path of light. It's right there. Incredible billions, trillions upon trillions of beings who are in that bodhisattva path. And the beings from this planetary sphere are very small. It's a very small number. Buddha was a latecomer in attaining Nibbana. Trillions of beings have already done that before him. So it's not a thing of one religious system. It's a universal law. It's a structure of how nature is built. The Buddha was one of the first people on this planet to identify those mechanisms, go, hey, this is how you attain. And huge gratitude towards him for doing that and establishing that path. But many, many, many trillions, countless beings have been there already. Okay, so back onto to your health and sensitivity. So if you're experiencing a high amount of emotional reaction to, let's say, music, well, reduce the amount of music you listen to. Change the way you listen to it. If you're too attentive to it, yeah, you're going to cry. Your tears are going to be running down. You're sensitive. You're energetically sensitive to your environment. Okay, that's okay. That's normal. That's what practices are. They're very sensitive people, and that's why they want to practice. Other aspects to look at besides guarding the gate, building the gates vitally and astrally, is general health in regards to taking care of your body. Go get a massage, get that scar tissue worked out of your body, get tension out of your body, and you might just be a massage machine that you put on a stiff place in your body. Take up yoga, do a lot of stretching and loosening. Take up things like Tai Chi to loosen and empty out your body. Do things which enliven the body. Go for walks in nature on a regular basis. We're talking about daily. And organize your schedule. One of my friends, his friend is a surgeon and does 14-hour days in surgery. Where's the time to take care of his health? He needs to have time to go, oh no, I need to have a walk in the park. Take care of your health. Take care of your time, your time, personal time. And then you need time for practice as well. So if you are stretching yourself out too far, you're going to lose energy. Other aspects to look at is nutrition. What is optimal diet for you? For me, it's a ketogenic diet. That's where I get the most energy. I thought it was vegan. The research says go vegan, but it almost killed me. It's just not good for some people. So really look at nutrition and what diet is best for you. And the research seems to be very, very corrupted on what a good diet is. For some people, yes, veganism is fantastic. For other people, it's toxic. So be careful and monitor how food makes you feel, and you really need to tune into that. Okay, so food, it's unique to you. Your diet, your diet. In the same way your face is unique, your diet's unique. All right, so going further, so as your relationships. People can steal energy from you. They can take your time. They can make you sit and listen to their emotional stuff, drain you emotionally, drain you physically, drain you financially. You need to be very sensitive to these types of people and cut them out of your life. It's one thing to support friends emotionally. It's another thing for your friends to rob all your energy. Be careful about those types of things. Surround yourself with people who are growing and nurturing you, and you're growing and nurturing them, and everyone's evolving on an upward spiral at a high speed. Most places I found this to happen is Buddhist groups. You go to a Tibetan Buddhist group or a good quality monastery, and there's a type of love for each other. Everyone is supporting each other and elevating each other. They have really good open hearts. These type of environments, you can find high quality friends who want high quality practice. But don't fall into the disease of we are the only ones with the truth, because there's trillions and trillions and trillions of other systems, the same as Buddhism across the universe, that are just looking at universal nature. No one owns that. Dharma, law, is law. Anyone can look at it, investigate it, and unfold it if they are not attached to the self. So avoid falling into that. I was sitting in a 100-year-old temple in Japan, and an old Japanese man came up to me. I was just doing my practice, and I said hello to him, and we had a short conversation. And actually, it's quite a long conversation. And he was a retired English teacher, and so his English skills quite good, being Japanese. And so he asked me on my view about Buddhism and the temple and the place that I'm in. And so I tuned into him and looked at where he's stuck. And I said to him, there's a disease in Buddhism, and it's a disease that they have the truth, the essence, the highest teachings, that they're the only ones with this knowledge, that this disease contaminates the mind with some type of intellectual superiority over other religious systems, and that this is a big problem. And as soon as I told him what the problem was that was within him, I didn't point at him, I just pointed it out externally, he automatically said, well, this is the only true path. And not only Buddhism, but their dialect of Buddhism. Their branch was the only branch that had the real Buddhism. And then he went into a big speech telling me why. So this it's a reflection of light back through the path upon which you generate the light. So if you're releasing time, you're releasing space, you're entering into Akasha through different rituals like invoking Akasha Gaba, non-dual lights arising with your mind. Well, what happens to that non-dual light? It reflects down the return path from where it was developed. So it reflects through your doctrinal thinking, it reflects through your emotional investments, it reflects through your behaviors. And then they self-validate as they come into form, as you seek to understand why that spiritual system works. And then of course, you're going to go, no, this is the best system, this is the only truth, because the nature of universal light in its non-dual state, when it comes into form, it doesn't discriminate. It takes the path of least resistance through the mental, astral, physical worlds. And your karmic stream of how you entered, the mirror reflects back down the stream. So it's a natural contamination of the mind to hold view. So how do they solve this in Buddhism? When you start working with non-dual light, or working on becoming that non-returner level, you have to let go of you. You have to let go of ritual. You have to let go of Buddhism. You have to let go of everything you know about the spiritual framework. And that is the solution to this problem. So you can't let go of your view too soon because you won't have a method of training. But when you start to experience non-dual light, you have to let go of that. You have to be totally released of that so that your mind does not get contaminated with wrong view. So right view is releasing view itself, to have no view. But it must be done with the correct timing. Okay, so other aspects of dealing with hypersensitivity and dealing with energy loss would be identifying all the places that you get empowered. The mountains, the forest, on a trampoline. You're on the rebounder 15-20 minutes and wow, you get a lot of energy pumping. You get a big lymphatic drainage, toxins, heavy metals get pumped out of your body, drink a lot of water, and you get enlivened. That 15 minutes or an hour every morning, and you might put it outside in the backyard under a tree and jump on the rebounder. Identify all the places where you become empowered. Identify all the people, how those people empower you, all the activities that empower you, the foods that empower you, the data, information you absorb that empowers you. So you have a black and white mirror. You have these things take away my energy, these things give me my energy. Identify them very, very, very clearly and journal them. And then you know exactly how to manage these problems that arise from being very sensitive and working with energy. Okay, thank you for your time, and see you on the next video.